Yes. Okay. Okay, we are live, and again another day. I think Sri Lanka women showed how to chase a game in a tricky pitch, because yesterday in the last match they did against South Africa, that was also a tricky chase, and today against India, I think when India managed to somehow score that 275 runs, I think most of us we thought that okay, this might be enough considering the quality spinners they have in the bowling unit. And if you consider the overall bowling unit, you expect India to defend those 2075 runs, but you have to give credit to Sri Lanka batters. The way they batted and the move, we will definitely discuss about that. At the move that Chamandi Adapati didn't come out to bat as an opener, she came out in the middle order. I think that helped a lot. I think to maintain that balance in that batting lineup. But we will come by one. But Naman, I think again, what a win for Sri Lanka. And now suddenly, after three matches, both Sri Lanka and India have two wins. Each. So what about the match? How do you see this particular win for Sri Lanka?
I think the pitch that today was being used was used for the second time in the tournament, and I think Sri Lanka knew what the pitch was going to give them, and winning that toss was quite useful for them because bowling first it was a sluggish pitch. The batters, I think Indian batters did try to contribute however they wanted to, but I think again they couldn't convert those into big knocks, and I think that kind of hurt them. And then Richa Ghosh as well, the way she was playing, it was phenomenal. But she got out at the wrong time, and India wasn't able to add a few more runs in the final 5 overs because in the final 5 overs, uh, only 29 runs were conceded by Sri Lanka bowlers. So I think India fell short by 20, 30 odd runs there itself because that is the time period you kind of want your batters to smash across the park. And did India not able to do that in the fag ends of the inning? I think fag end of the innings. I think that kind of costed them. Irrespective, Sri Lanka played beautifully well. Chamari Atapatu's bowling came in handy in the 46th over. She dented India's momentum by taking those two wickets. The other being Sangrika Kumari, if I'm not
Yes.
pronouncing the name incorrectly. Sorry, but I'm a bit bad with the names.
Sugandhika Kumari.
Sugandhika.
Yes. Sugandhika
Sugandhika.
Kumari. Yes.
Sorry.
Sugandhika.
Sugandhika Kumari. She left arm orthodox, right? She also
Yes.
bowled really well, and I think they did again put up a all-round performance like they did against South Africa. Halted the opposition batters from scoring at a massive rate. Didn't allow them the freedom that one would expect Indian batters to play with, and then they did. I mean, remain calm during the chase and were able to finish off things perfectly well for themselves.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it was a very calculative chase. If you see the scorecard right now, if you haven't watched the match, just see the scorecard. You can find Hasani Perada and the Vishmi, the start they managed to get. I think it was superb. Then Harshita Samarukrama again. What an innings again. She was looking so good until she got out. And Harshita Samarukrama, that is the point that me and Trishadi were discussing in the pre-match live show, that South Africa batters did well against South Africa, but the problem is with consistency. Can they do it again in a chase today? Because consistency is a part that where Sri Lanka batters or maybe bowlers need to work on. The more consistent you become, the more wins you can have going forward. So I think that is the part they have shown that they know that they need to improve, and they shown that they can do that. And especially as I mentioned, I think Chamadi Adapatu's move was not to come out as an opener as she was struggling, but and she looked good in those 23 overs. Those run turned out to be very handy. At least those 23 runs turned out to be very handy than those 0, 7, or 9 as an opener, trying too hard to give that big start to your team. So I think, and obviously, we have to talk about the player of the match, Nilakshika De Silva. No one ever thought that this innings will come at that strike rate. She batted at the strike rate at it's I think approx 170,
Yeah.
well, 170, and it was a superb. And that knock, snatched away the game from, I think, from India. I think India looked, clueless against her, and you have to give credit to her. The way she identified the gaps and the shots that she produced, to the leg side sweeps and all. I think she was superb. So I think, Naman, few words on Nilakshika. Yesterday she was impressive with that catch against Chloe Tryon in against South Africa, and now with the bat, and what a knock it was turned out to be.
I think Sri Lanka was expecting something of a sort from her. And if you, I mean, I have the score, I mean, the
Yeah.
chart where all
Mm,
she scored, the graph
mm.
where all the Nilakshi scored. And if you see, there's nothing in the front V, it's everything swept on the leg side
Yes.
or squared to the covers or a bit more squarer. So that tells you the way, I mean, she had planned her innings, how it is going to be. She knew the conditions and she worked accordingly. And I think Indian bowlers didn't have uh, any option or any clue how to get the better of her, and she I think performed brilliantly well. And like Richa Ghosh, she also did
Mm.
her part. Richa also played at a strike rate of 120 or something, but her performance at a strike rate of 170 kind of tilted it back into Sri Lanka's favor, and it made it easy for the lower end batters to just put the match. I mean, cross the finish line, even if they have to just take singles, singles, and singles. So that performance, I think, kind of tells you that Sri Lanka has more depth than that is talked about. It's not just Chamari
Yes.
Athapattu that is there, but other batters have also shown up in this tournament, and I think that is quite brilliant for them.
Yes, but as you mentioned, Naman, that there is a similarity where she scored. Like there's a particular region, two or three regions where she scored most of the runs, and most of the runs mean I mean that 90% or 95% of those runs came in that region only. So then the question arises on Team India's captain, the captaincy, the field setups, or maybe the bowlers who are going to bowling. Because as a bowler, you know that okay, this player is targeting that zone, so we'll keep this line and length and we will set up the players like that. So was there any lack of that planning or was there no plan B? Because obviously she was hitting like crazy and I think India looked clueless against her. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean there is a bit. I mean I didn't don't know whether Harmanpreet was able to uh,
Mm.
read things how Nilakshi was playing, where she was playing her strokes, and were the ballers communicating with her enough to tell her that this is how it is going. But I think even though they weren't able to dissect how they were to attack, first of all I don't think they did their homework well on Nilakshi. If this is
Mm.
how she plays, I think you should have done a bit better. You should have placed the fielders a bit better and bowled accordingly. But that was not done. But I'll give Harmanpreet the fact that even though her five bowlers weren't able to get those breakthroughs, she put in. She trusted Pritika Rawal to bring her in as a sixth bowler was a nice job. But yeah, again, everything won't go your way, and you have to be, I mean, up on your toes to get everything right. So I think yeah, there was something lacking from Harmanpreet or even the bowler's side that they weren't able to get the idea that Nirakshi was sweeping or squaring it off to the covers.
Yes, absolutely. And Naman, do you also think that Sri Lanka's lower order batters did exceptionally well than India's lower order batters? I think their contribution was more effective than India's. What do you think that? Because Kashbi didn't click and Snehana also added few runs, but it was not that effective than the Sri Lanka lower order batters did.
See, Kashfi also played at a strike rate of 150. I have the scoreboard in front of me
Yeah.
to get those strike rates correct. Kashfi did try her best, 3-4 boundaries, and I think that that is kind of what she is required to do. Come in and smash it
Mm-hmm.
across. But I think Deepti Sharma should have been the one to take the
Yes.
aggressive role. But and I don't think she did pretty well. She was 30 balls in and 24 runs with one boundary.
And with the ball
And
also again, she looked so
very off
flat,
today.
so flat.
Yeah,
Mm.
that kind of puts you if you're in a bad if you weren't able to contribute in the first innings, kind of sets in into your mental capacity that okay, I haven't done with the bat, I need to perform with the ball, and then it goes all wrong from there as well. But yeah, I think after Richa Ghosh got out in the 44th over, it was Deepti Sharma's duty to take the aggressor's role and add those 20-30 odd runs, but India failed to do that in the final few overs.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it is now becoming a worry because three matches gone. Dipti Sharma is yet to deliver her best with the ball. With the bat, we know that her struggle is continuing, and in this series there is no exception. as Naman mentioned, that today she had a chance. Yes.
By the way, if we just see that only two Indian batters have hit sixes today. That kinds of tell you that
Mm.
no one
Yes.
was, even though the pitch was sluggish, no one was willing to take that risk to, I mean, had
Mm.
put the pressure back on the bowlers. They were doing it very easily. The bowlers didn't feel the pressure. They took their time and strategized. Sri Lankan bowlers I'm talking about this took their time, strategized how to get every batter out, and they were doing it. No batter was able to contribute more than 40 except Richa Ghosh. That tells you the story that Indian batters didn't do their homework well. They were thinking that, like the first game, they are going to get the better of Sri Lankan batters.
Absolutely. But Naman, now it is becoming a worry. As I was speaking that, 3 matches gone. No, that not that much lethal as we expect to be. Deepti Sharma with the ball. And
Watch.
in these conditions, if you are not taking wickets, if you are not winning games for India, then in which conditions you are going to do it? Obviously, with the bat, you had an opportunity today after a long time, but you failed. You scored 24 runs, but that came 30 balls, and ultimately that can turn out to be the one of the major reasons behind the defeat. If she had scored those 24 at least in 20 balls, then that those 10 balls would have helped India to score more, at least 20 runs,
Yeah.
and these 275 would have reached 295 or 300. So again, I think 3 matches gone. Maybe India will play that final in this series. So two more opportunities maybe. As of now, you have only one guaranteed. So before World Cup, in this type of condition, if your number one experienced spinner is not working, Sriyana has been superb. I think we have nothing left to discuss about her. She has been superb throughout the tournament with the ball.
Again, showed up with the ball.
Yes,
Class act.
every time, and 3 wickets. Every match, 3 wickets written for her. She is there,
Especially the
but
wicket of
for
Shamaria Atapattu. The way
yes,
that she bowled that off break ball, it was
yes,
fantastic.
super. But what about Deepti Sharma? What is going on, and is it a worrying sign ahead of the World Cup that your prime experienced bowler, all rounder, you can say, she is not clicking even in this type of conditions?
Is I mean, I don't actually have the answer to all of these questions, but I feel that she didn't have the best of the WPL. Her
Hmm.
captaincy was also constantly criticized because UP Warriors did get a start in the Bangalore phase. They were able to get some wins there, and everyone was feeling that from there they can take the momentum. But everything again was coming down. In the middle order, Deepti Sharma was not performing. She was putting herself to bat in number four, number five, or number three, even number three. But nothing was working out for her in terms of batting. Hardly any score of 30 plus. And then in the bowling department is where hardly any wickets were taken from her side. It was either Sophie Eccleston taking the wickets or the other bowlers who were there. And I think that kind of puts something off. I mean, I think that kind of form is what she might be bringing into the series, because after that, I don't think they have played enough matches or played anything at all, to be fair. And yeah, I think the form, the way WPL went around this time for Deepti Sharma, I think that kind of has played a bit of a part in her form this series.
Yes. Okay, I think Sri Lanka innings is done. And Naman, let's talk about the Indian batting innings. I know that again they managed to somehow reach the 275 mark, and still I still believe that they should have defended the 275 runs with the kind of bowlers they have. But what I'm asking that, okay, it happens. Not every day your top batters will click, but your all batters got starts. They failed to convert. If you
Convert.
remember, Jemima got dropped on the first ball itself.
Yeah.
If that catch would have taken, things could have been more dangerous for Team
Much,
India.
much worse. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So now I think today, I think the main problem has been that your batters got start. Obviously, the pitch was not that easy to bat on. The balls were not coming to the bat, so they struggled a little bit. But they tried their best, but ultimately they failed to convert those starts. But what about top players like Harmanpreet Kaur and Jamie Maya, as I mentioned, Shruti Mandana again another start, and she failed. Today,
I think
obviously, a run out was there. Yeah,
yeah, I think
Pratika, I think today Trishadi was telling in the pre-match, you were not there. Trishadi was telling that I really want Pratika to fail somewhere in between because of the law of averages. At least
Yeah,
then she can go. So I think today at least Trishadi will be happy that at least somehow she didn't cross that 50-run mark. But what about the top batters like Shruti? I think for Shruti also there is no 50. I think in the series, yeah, there is no 50-run mark so far in this series.
but
Harmanpreet
that's
also
four
looked a
stars.
bit scratchy, and obviously Jamie. What about that, Naman?
See, Sneha, it is clear that India at the moment is taking a bit too conservative approach right now.
Mm.
There is no show of aggression. Hardly any sixes were scored from the Indian batters. Only they were talking in boundaries. If Pratika doesn't perform at the top of the order, Indian batters did today seem like they were they didn't know what to do. There was no plan. Uh, they were trying to bat, they were trying to rotate the strike as much as possible, but I think it kind of didn't pan out well that no one was able to convert those strokes, and only uh, Dicha goes scoring at 100 plus strike rate if we exclude Kashvi because she only played how many 11 balls, so
Yes.
kind of doesn't count much. Only Richa Ghosh playing at a more strike rate of more than 100 kinds of tells you that it's not a good game for Indian batters. Even Jemima, see, if you're coming that down the order, you need to be a bit more aggressive than how Jemima played today. To be fair, you're coming that down, if you've taken that responsibility, if you have accepted it that okay, my position is this, then you need to be a bit. See, I was never in favor because Jemima is not that kind of a player. She takes her time, bides
Hmm.
her time at the crease, and then she starts to take the aggressor role whenever she feels. She's more like an anchor player. But now being dropped to that low down the order, I think that kind of is not working out well because Indian finishers are not performing well. Deepti Sharma is off. Only the onus is on Richa Ghosh to do something. That kind of is a concerning sign.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's move to the comments. Then we can wrap up the show. Okay, first comment, Ramaji. Good evening. Good evening, Ramaji. Okay, next. Okay, Sanjay Saka. If Jamie catch was taken by Sri Lanka captain, it would have been much lesser. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
That was, yeah, that was me and Naman were talking about that. It could have left India in a worse position, more
was
worse position. Yeah. Okay. What a knock, Sanjit again. What a knock by Nilakshi De Silva. The way she hit those sixes, absolutely.
sixes. Yeah.
And again, I am saying with all due respect, no one expected her to be that much explosive. Yeah, she had already hit 50s. This is her third 50 in ODIs, but at this strike rate she will hit. I think no one would have expected that.
If we see this, since if we take India's last performance against South Africa as well, in the initial phase, until Tasman Brits
Yes,
was
the
not
hit.
retired
Mm,
hurt, India didn't have any answer. Indian bowlers were struggling to find that breakthrough, and
mm.
I think that was a concerning sign there itself. And today again, until Sneh Rana came in, Harshita, Samara Vikrama, and
Yes.
we were taking the game away from them. They staged a 70 something partnership, and I think that kind of tells you that India is struggling to get those breakthrough in the top of the innings.
Exactly. And if you see the common template here, I think your bowlers are struggling while defending a target. I think they're
Yeah,
not getting the idea where to bowl or something. So
yeah. There's no
that's an
strategy.
area. Yes, yes. Prince of World, what went wrong for India? I
I
think
think
again, I
that
think
well.
yeah. Now what Naman said that they should have added more 20-25 runs. What they didn't do at least in the 5 overs. But all credit to Sri Lanka bowlers. You have to give credit to them, and obviously not taking early breakthroughs in a regular interval, especially in the middle overs with those quality spinners. and
Yes.
and and see, we already discussed and we can discuss about captaincy and all, but your top players need to come out with top performances. You don't expect Deepti Sharma to be that flat in this type of conditions. So for Deepti, I think it is high time to come up and be at her level best in the next game onwards.
Seriously, do you think that at this point in time, with Deepti Sharma not performing, should India try against South Africa, someone like Suchi or even Amanju?
I don't know. Uh, because in these conditions, I think they could have tried. any one of those or maybe both of them against South Africa if India would have won this game. Now India didn't win this game. Now that match against South Africa becomes a little bit tricky.
Difficult.
A loss there, then they might get
Unless,
out of the competition somehow.
unless South Africa loses, I mean, sorry, India,
South
if
Africa also have two games. Yeah,
Yeah,
South Africa also have two games. So things can be tricky. So I think India will not make certain changes. India will continue with Deepti Sharma. What I am thinking that maybe going forward, if Dipti is not performing, there might be a chance India might be tempted. Okay, let's drop Dipti, then only use Sneha because same kind of a player, like and like replacement. Use Sneha. She's bowling so well, she can bat. And I think at this point, if you ask, I think you also agree with me. Sneha is a much better batter than Dipti Sharma is right now in this context. Now in
yeah.
this form. So I think there might be some temptation because in England it is expected
What
that you might play both Amanjot and Kashmir. There's a high chance.
Or they could have promoted Kashmir up and then Sneh, and I guess, but then that tells you that the team isn't confident enough in Deepti Sharma that these batters.
Exactly.
Then there's no point of playing Deepti Sharma.
एग्जैक्टली देखो पहली बात तो ये है कि दीप्ति शर्मा को बैट थोड़ा ऊपर करना चाहिए. इफ यू सी हर टॉप इनिंग्स इन WPL इट ऑलवेज केम्स एट नंबर 3 नंबर 4 like that. But in India it is very difficult. Your top 5 is settled, so
Jemima
she has
can't
to
bowl
bat at
well.
number 6. Yes, but the problem is no one expecting her to score at 170, no one expecting, but at least score at 90 or 100 strike rate. I think
At
that
least
will be
more than
beneficial for you
100.
and for the team. Yeah, at least. Yes. Okay. Sanjit, however, both sides in certain cases have to improve the ground fielding. Yes. And I think this is not a new problem. This is a common problem for all Asian teams. And apart from, you can guess, I guess, Australia and England, maybe some sort of South Africa. I think every teams have these fielding issues. Sports fan, India fielding was pathetic. Too many starts, not converting to big knocks by India batters. Good point, and we discussed both these points. Okay. Mandeep, I told you at the start of the match, India needs 300. Yes, you told that, and obviously, those 25 runs, I think, ultimately made the difference at the end of the day. Okay, Raghu, why is Harlindal playing no intent in their batting? Why senior players are given more chances compared to youngster? Kashbi bowled only 5 overs. Harlindal, Naman,
Yeah, to be fair, I feel that that is a number three position is a bit of a anchor role played
yeah,
position, and that is somewhere you need to bat very cautiously, very steadily, and keep rotating the strike as much as possible. And to be fair, till now, Haleen Deol had been doing that. Today's game, she scored 29 of 35. She was still striking at 82 strike rate. That
mhm,
tells you that she was doing her bit. She was rotating the strikes continuously, and I think that's what you expect from your batters. It's just that you need to convert those starts the way that she was playing. I think she should have converted the start. It's just that they're not able to convert it. I don't think Harleen also has a 50 plus score till now. Oh, one game
absolutely.
against Sri Lanka in the first match. I think
Yes.
it's 48 or 50 something.
Yes, and the main point is where is the replacement in this squad? Only Yastika Bhatia is there, and you cannot play two
Going,
wicket keepers in the same team. They will not
going,
play. They will
going
not play. Yes,
to push Jemima up. Do you think that is?
that will not happen, Naman. That will never happen. You
But
you
Yastika
cannot
can play
expect.
down the order, no?
Yes, Yastika can play, but what I am saying that in this series maybe we will not see Yastika in action. Maybe in England
Uh,
we can see Yastika in
they might
action.
not try much.
Exactly. And if you guys can go through our website, you can find an article written by Trishadi. It's about the number three position. And according to us, I think the number three position is sealed by Harlinder for the World Cup. Because if you go through the stats for the last 2 years, I will say the most runs, most average, maybe 50s and hundreds is all shows that Harlinder is your perfect number three. Because this is not a because it is not that India haven't tried other option. India have given chances to Tejal Hasnabis, have tried Rucha Ghosh also, But Richa goes at number three in ODI format is a waste. I will say you need power hitter in the down order, and she is your only power hitter if you see like this. So I think that is why Halinder will be there. Hopefully, she will come up good with some big scores. I think the problem is that she is not hitting big scores. She's getting starts, not converting those. I think that is the area that she needs to work on, and if she manages to do that, I think this criticism will not come. Okay. So happy Sri Lanka contributing without Arapatu, but she finally got a bit of floating. Yes, absolutely. I think this is the most positive part about these two chases. That without Chamari Arapatu scoring that much run, they managed to chase down on two occasions.
Now Sri Lanka is the most dangerous team in this Tri Nation tournament.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
They
Okay,
both
Prince. If
play well.
If if Jamie or Herman stay there bit more, it would be different result today, I think. But this lost also good. They can learn what is wrong with for them. Yes, absolutely. I think sometimes losing a game here and there is good for your team. Yeah, you can go back to the drawing board and then can see that which particular areas that gone against you, and then you can come up good. Hopefully, they will come up good against South Africa. I think the next match become more vital after a loss like this. I think if they come up good against South Africa, then and they manage to win that, I think then that will give them a much needed confidence. Okay, man, the poor fielding like Pakistan men's team. So you deserve to lose after Mithali left Team India. They are just pathetic. Yes, now, man, fielding has been an area that has been problematic, right?
It has been, but I don't think it. India has been pathetic ever since Mithali has win. There has been
Yes.
some positives as well. Jemima is one of the good best fielders India has. Even Aman Jyot is a very good fielder on the boundary. So India has positives, just that they need to, I think, collectively contribute.
Okay, am I saying Deepti is really overhyped as all-rounder? South Africa World Cup 2022 no ball, Commonwealth Games and T20 World Cup semi-final versus Australia. Yes, I can understand the frustration. You expect more from your experienced all-rounder, and from Deepti Sharma. She is one of your top legend of the game, and she is already one of the legend of the game in Indian cricket. So from her, if you are not getting that type of commitment or that type of performance, the frustration is understandable. Hopefully, she will come up good, and I think more than any one of us, I think she knows herself that things are not going well for her. So I think she will be desperate to make a comeback, and hopefully from the next game we'll see a better version of Deepti Sharma. Okay, sportsman, is Charan the best left-arm spinner in India and a better option than youngster? Radha Yadav is there, but you dropped her. You dropped Radha Yadav. I think Mili Upadhyay is also a left-arm spinner. I think,
Yes,
but again, a very youngster, a very youngster.
very young.
Yeah. So which more? Again, another option. Ekta Beast, I think another option that you can go for Ekta Beast maybe.
Did she
But
do
but
well in the WPL?
yeah,
I don't.
she did well also. But I think these selectors have gone forward from them, and they're looking to explore new options like giving chances to youngsters. If they do well in the longer term, then in next 2 years to come, these spinners will be very much useful for Team India. So let's hope. In China, didn't do that much wrong. I will say in these three matches, she did. She bowled pretty decently.
She did. She did.
Yeah. Okay. Next. मनदीप मैं सोच रहा था स्नेहाशीष की श्रीलंका 270 प्लस चेस कर लेंगे इसलिए मैंने 300 बोला था. हाँ हाँ वही है आपने तो कमेंट किया था तो वो दिखा था कि आपको थोड़ा आइडिया था कि शायद श्रीलंका कर लेगी. बट मुझे लगा था कि इंडिया के पास जैसा बॉलिंग है शायद नमन भी मेरे साथ एग्री करेगा. यू हैव स्नेह राणा, यू हैव दीप्ति शर्मा, चयनी बोल्ड was bowling well. Arundhati and all. We expected, India to win this game after 275 because the pitch was not that easy to bat on. But still, you managed to concede those runs. I think that is a worrying sign. But congrats to you that you guessed it right. Okay, Raghu Ravi, we have only one left-hander in top order. Yastika should be given a chance. She has a sound technique and can keep wickets better than Richa. I think a valid point है Naman कि Yastika might be a better wicket keeper than Richa Ghosh, but again the batting. I think she also has not been that much consistent. She has given a lot of chances at number three, but she also had failed. What do you think, Naman?
I think there's no issue. I feel to be fair that this tournament should be as an experiment platform for India to do whatever kind of experiment. They shouldn't be looking at the results with anything other than how well their experiments work. And in that situation, I mean, I 100% can say Trishadi won't agree with me at all here. But I think Yastika can come in and I mean at number three or wherever lower down the order, and they can put her up to just see how she plays. There's always this thing that you put in left and right combination so
Yes,
that the bowlers are a bit off in their length and continuously have to change it according to the batter's guard. So I think
yes.
that's kind of place, but again, the batting lineup I think is already set for India, and I think they're going to stick with it irrespective.
Okay, Sanjit saying Sri Lanka women's played smartly, but no need to go for big hits. Just but get out after set. Yes, I think वो बहुत कैलकुलेटिव चेस था. I think वही सबसे बढ़िया बात था. Now Ramaji is saying Kashmi Gautam 3 matches 0 wickets. Though she is bowling good delivery, she is unable to get wickets from those deliveries. I think it happens with many bowlers that you bowl superbly, but somehow you don't get wickets. And in this wickets, in these tracks, I think it is very difficult for any pacer to get wickets in a regular interval. Yes, I think Sri Lanka pacers have done it. Arundhati has taken some wickets, but still, I think considering that it is her debut series, I think she has done reasonably well. Wickets will come eventually, but I think she has done reasonably well. Reasonably well. Yeah, I'm not saying batting second is there in these conditions. Yes, and that is proving right, and that is what Naman mentioned. That is why that the toss played a huge part. That Sri Lanka might have won a huge toss there. Mandeep, no big scores from top order. Yes, we have discussed that your top players are not scoring big, not getting converting those starts, and that is a problem. Prince of World, I think Indian management should find replacement for Deepti Sharma soon. Yes, and I think Snehana is your replacement as of now. so, so if they really want, but it will be very harsh call, right, Naman? That Deepti Sharma, one of your go-to vice captain in this team. When Harmanpreet is not there, Shriti Mandana being the captain, Deepti Sharma is the vice captain, and suddenly you are talking about that after such performance that you might drop Deepti Sharma. So I think that will be a very very harsh call.
Obviously harsh, but I feel if they can do it for a game or so just to try out things, I think that might work out well for the team also, and give a
Yes.
mental break for to recalibrate what is going wrong for Deepti Sharma. She can do that for herself also with a break.
Absolutely. Mandip is saying if you're a good team, you can win from any situation in any conditions, and that should be. But it's okay. It happens. Hopefully, India will be far far better the next match. Remo saying the top three are too one dimensional and Hallin for all runs. Since are written is slow starter, the team just doesn't learn. I think Shriti Mandana has tried her best to give brick starts. I think that is why sometimes she lost her
Today, I
wicket.
think he also
Yeah,
struggled a bit.
yeah. And today she struggled. I think the pitch today was a little bit more
More
slowish
slower.
side. That yeah. So that is why every batter struggled. Prince over Nilaksi De Silva played a T20 knock. It changed all absolutely, and it was a
That's
superb knock.
what you need from your batters and the fag end.
Yes. Okay. Any more comments? Ramaji, no other bowler except Sriyana is able to do well with the ball. I wonder what would have happened if she wasn't selected for this tour. Yes, right now I think this might be the real question. But again, you have to give credit to Snehana. She has been superb. And again, hopefully all the other bowlers will come up good. be a little more supportive to Snehana in the next match. Yeah, same comment. Prince of World Indian bowlers didn't perform except Snehana. Trishadi, yeah, Trishadi a bit unwell. That is why she didn't join the pre-match. But she will be fine. She'll be fine. She will join
Post
in the
match.
next match. And the post-match of IPL, there's a high chance. Helen is not showing any intensity how she is playing for her first 20 deliveries. Yeah, but what Naman mentioned that ultimately she got out when her strike rate was above 80 or 82 plus, right? So I think she was getting into her game, but somehow it happens.
It's a
Initially
50
in this
over game. You have to pick up.
exactly, exactly. You have to take time in early stage of your innings.
Plus, it was a very sluggish pitch.
Exactly. Second time in a row, Halin killed the innings. Emma saying yes, and people are a bit frustrated. I can understand. They were saying they would have lost against South Africa too and got lucky with Britain Hart. For far too long, this team has played timid cricket, posted under par score. I think with this approach thing, I think the question remains still. I think since that T20 World Cup 2024, this whole team's approach has been a point. Obviously, 50 over format has been one of the format where India have done well, but still, I think everyone is right that me, Naman, Tushadi have mentioned several times that things would have different if Tasman Beach, didn't got retired at that time due to hit. So I think again, obviously India managed to make a comeback from there on that game against Sri Lanka. They managed to win, but today the question again comes at with whether they need some changes in the approach or not. Okay, Asim Khan says there. Has the Indian bowling been exposed today? We lack standard wicket-taking bowlers who can break pattern. How can you more than 50 over runs? Yes, I think Naman has answered it already that they are unable to take early wickets and obviously middle overs also, and that has been the problem. Okay, I think most of the comments are done, and already it's 36 minutes. We have to be back for the IPL match also, post match and pre match show. So thank you everyone for joining in. We will be back in the next match, obviously, of this series. Thank you, Naman, for joining, and hopefully India will make a good comeback in the next match against South Africa. Thank you so much.